Hey everyone, welcome back to Cooking with the Kems. I'm Stefan, and today we're making French toast with a special twist. Since it's peach season in California, we will be jazzing up this classic with some delicious ripe yellow peaches. The peaches will be cooked with some spices, sugar, butter, and bourbon whiskey. We love bourbon, but feel free to leave it out if you like. The French toast will be topped off with a nice dollop of mascarpone cheese to add some contrast and a refreshing touch. So let's begin. First, we're going to work on our egg and milk mixture for the French toast. I'm using whole eggs here, and they are going into a baking dish. You might be thinking, why more eggs? If you've never had French toast before, the eggs with the milk create a custard-like texture once the bread is soaked in it. Now some granulated sugar for sweetness, and it also helps caramelize the surface of the toast. A little bit of cinnamon because every French toast is better with cinnamon, and some ground nutmeg. Then we're going to whisk the mixture together, making sure that there are no clumps of cinnamon and that all of the spices are evenly distributed. Time to slice the brioche. I'm slicing the brioche into some thick slices, about 1.5 inches thick. It's important to not cut too thin because it won't hold up in the egg mixture. The bread is then going into the egg mixture. This is going to soak for about 20 to 30 minutes before you decide to cook them up. Give it one nice flip to make sure that both sides are covered. The brioche is nice and buttery. It adds richness and a nice fluffy texture. You can definitely use any bread you like, but I highly recommend using brioche if you can get it. While we wait for the bread to soak, I have some mascarpone cheese and I'm adding some peach flavored syrup and a small pinch of salt and mix thoroughly. After mixing the mascarpone, set aside for later. Let's cut into these delicious ripe peaches. I'm going to remove the pit and then cut into slices. Grab a nice size sauté pan and heat on medium-high heat and add some butter in. Let it melt slightly before adding the granulated sugar. You can adjust the amount of sugar you add depending on the sweetness of your peaches. Add some cinnamon and a small pinch of salt. Give it a nice stir and add your peaches straight in and mix and toss until peaches are fully coated. Cook until the peaches are tender and the juices will release, creating a nice sauce. Now it's time to add the bourbon. I'm going to show you how to flambe, but if you're not familiar or comfortable with doing so, this method is safe and easy and it's done with a lighter. As long as you cook out the alcohol, the results will be the same. Once the flame is gone, turn the heat off and slowly incorporate that cold butter in. This will help give the sauce that velvety texture. Now, it's time to fry up the French toast. I've heated my cast iron griddle on medium heat. A small knob of butter is going on because everything is better with butter. Then our beautifully soaked brioche. Wow, just look at how much that bread soaked up. Give it about 5 to 7 minutes before flipping. We're looking for a nice golden brown crust. A slight char is fine since we're using a cast iron pan. Now it's time to plate up. Onto a plate, 2 pieces of bread, and spoon over some of the peaches. Then a nice drizzle of that bourbon sauce. Add some toasted and chopped pecans for texture and crunch. And you can't forget a dollop of that peachy mascarpone cheese right in the middle. Let's add a nice dusting of powdered sugar, garnish with a sprig of mint from the backyard, and voila! Peach bourbon French toast. Let's cut into it and give it a taste. Make sure to get a little bit of everything. Wow, I had a moment here, and it took me back to my diner days living in upstate New York. I hope you have a moment, just like I did, when you taste this delicious French toast. These fresh peaches really shine in this dish. When sauteed with the sugar and the bourbon, the peachy flavor is amplified. The sauce is sweet and slightly salty and works so well with the rich brioche. The pecans give a nice crunchy texture, and the brioche is soft and pillowy with a nice crust. The leftover peach bourbon sauce can also be used over ice cream or even peach cobbler. If you haven't already, check us out on our social media accounts at Cooking Kems for behind the scenes, test kitchen, and sneak peeks at future episodes. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.